Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's me to go first. I don't think I have a bingo. Through an E I would have salvage, but I'm going first. I certainly want to get rid of the V, and it would be good to get rid of the G as well. I can do that with veg. The leave isn't great, but it's not too bad. I'm just wondering if there is something better, but I think this is fine. Great, I draw a blank to go with my S. I may have a bingo, and if I don't, I've got the X for score. Deflexes is good, I think. That plays through the E of veg. What else do I have? Axle seed is good, so that also plays through that E. Do I have any sevens? I'll run through the alphabet while I'm waiting for my opponent to play. Okay, he has played, and the E remains available. So, axle seed and deflexes. Neither of those hits the triple letter play. I will look for a 7 because it's likely to score more than either of the bingos I've identified. Excludes through a U. Haven't seen anything yet. Seed flax and seed flax through an A. That looks promising. Can't see anything though. I'm primarily looking for a 7. Still nothing. Well, maybe there isn't something here. Dulexes, not good. It would be duplexes. Deluxes is also not good. It's just deluxe. Okay, so deflexes, axle seed. I think I'll go with axle seed. Because it places the D on the double letter square, and the S is not available for my opponent. $67. And that's a pretty good pickup. I think there is a 7-letter bingo here. This is the retain set, one of the best sets there is. Actually, I think A is one of the few tiles it doesn't make a 7 with, but it's going to make a whole bunch of 8s. I've got rain date and dentaria through the D of axle seed. What if that's blocked? Well, it's just the A and X that are available as floaters in the top half. Can't see anything with the X. And the A would be 3 A's. I can't see anything there. Vega takes an N and an S after it for future reference. Now, what about the E's of axle seed? Do I have an 8 through one of those? Don't think so. So at the moment I'm just looking at the D. I've got the two-letter combination S blank or S gap N in row I. But that's not available because any bingo through that would have to start one square to the left, at least one square to the left of the S, and that's blocked by the V. Yuan takes an S for future reference, as does Axel Seed. So I'm waiting to see if my D bingos remain available. If they do, which is going to be better? Well, rain date takes an S, and that's going to stop one square short of a double word square, so that's not great. And Dentaria opens up column 15 for triple word plays. Well, I think Dentaria is preferable. But maybe my opponent will provide additional floaters. He's taking a while over his move, so he may be close to a bingo. Now, what if my bingo is blocked? I could play Ava in column 7. 14 points. Actually, playing off just the A may be the right play. But I can't see anywhere to do that, which scores very much at all. But retain is a fabulously bingo-y 6-letter set. My opponent has spent over 4 minutes of his time. So he may get into time trouble later. I'm looking around in case there are some floaters I haven't considered. Well, I suppose column 9, a bingo could begin, or go through the G of Vega, but that would be quite an extensive overlap. And I can't see a bingo with my rack and a G. I don't think trainage is good. Well, my opponent is spending a huge amount of time on this move. He may have a really tricky rack or be desperately searching for a bingo, especially as he's just gone a bingo behind. I have a lead of 58 points. That would vanish if my opponent bingoed. I note also that my opponent has got a very high rating, 2066, significantly higher than mine. I don't know who he is, but that could mean he's very good. I'm just satisfying myself in my mind that I don't have a 7. My recollection is that retain goes with everything to make a 7-letter word apart from A and V. But the word list does periodically update. Okay. Now, that's good. Reptilia takes an N at the end. Actually, I'm going to check that it's good because it's reptilian that I'm sure of. Yup. Right, so, firstly, have my bingos been blocked? Rain date has been blocked and Dentaria. Okay, they have. My opponent has provided additional floaters, but 2 of them, the A and the I, duplicate tiles on my rack, which makes a bingo less likely. So, my hopes rest on the L. Do I have a bingo with this rack plus an L? Anti-real, an anagram thereof. It'll be enormously high probability if there is one. So hugely annoying to miss. Alien rat. Gosh, well. Maybe there isn't a bingo here. What a shame. So, what to do? Reptilia does take an N. I've got an N, but I'd like to keep it because this is such a bingo-y set of letters. I'm still looking for a bingo through the L. It would be a really bad miss if I have a bingo and don't see it. Okay, well, I can't see it. So I'm thinking about playing Ava, and the reason is this opens up a new bingo lane in column 6. Although it's splitting up the retain set, there is the A of Reptilia, which makes the retain set, and I am keeping the N for column 15. Not a good pick at all. 2 vowels. Can't see a 7 with this rack. Triolian is good. Well, that's a bingo which plays in column 12. Erionite is good. That would play onto an E. Well, there isn't an E available. Do I have a bingo onto the D of Axel seed? Retinoid. That doesn't go because RI isn't good. Does retinoid have an anagram? I think it does. I think it's one of a set of 2. Well, the anagram isn't coming to mind. Great, my play through the L, Triolian, remains available. And my opponent didn't open up any new floaters for me to consider. Triolian does take an S. I pick an S, which is good. I don't think I have a bingo with these tiles, but I have several scoring tiles, so I'm looking to play off, well, preferably 3 out of the 4 scoring tiles. That may not be possible. I've also got an I for going after the Q to make chi, but I don't have an N for going after Reptilia, and I'm not sure if Reptilia takes an S at the end. But how can I use the S to pluralise Triolian? Can I play off 2 of my high-scoring tiles? I think Symes is good, C-Y-M-E-S, which actually plays off 3 of them. I now have a 33-point lead. I may also have a play beginning with the triple letter square immediately under the U of audios, but my opponent's pluralization of cats prevents me doubling any such play, so I needn't consider it. 29 points for my opponent. He's scoring consistently well. So let's see what this scores. 49 points, that's a big score. Rack leaves okay, 1 vowel, 1 consonant. Is there any way I can find a better play. If there is a better play, I think it's only going to be a little bit better. So I think I will go with this. Well, no duplicates and a good vowel consonant balance. But the B and the F don't go well together, so I think I'm going to be looking to score with this rack rather than bingo. I've still got an I for going after Q. But I don't have an N, so I'd be looking at a play which ends with an I if I want to use column 15. So where else can I score? My opponent takes out that spot. Not many good spots on this board. I don't think foibled is good. I think it's just foible. But I can play foible in column 13, and that would certainly play off the B and the F, which aren't particularly bingo-y. And by playing off 6 tiles, I'm increasing my chances of drawing the second blank. This is providing an easy scoring opportunity for my opponent in column 12. And it only scores 27 points, so this isn't a great play. Is there a better one? 12 minutes left. Let me put this back on my rack. I'm looking around to see where are the scoring opportunities on this board. Row L is available. I'll be burning my E. I don't particularly want to hold on to the B. It's not a disastrous tile, but if I can play it, I think I would like to. I don't think foible has an anagram, so I'm going to go with this. Foible 27. I now have a 50-point lead. This looks quite good. Bingo-y tiles, but duplicate tiles, so there may not be a bingo here. And I don't have many floaters to consider. Ah, well, hold on. What about Darrain? I think that's good as a 7. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any 7-letter bingo lanes available for it. Column 6 is a 7-letter lane, but Nal isn't good. Nice bingo by my opponent. There is the second blank. Does Darrain take an E? I think it does, and it may exist with just an E. So I think I have a bingo in column 3. Do I have anything through the O of overawed? Rain Road, not good. Can't see anything there. Can't see anything through the V. So I'm going to try Darrain. I'm going to pause briefly because I haven't considered the foible. Floaters. So Darrain would be 61, not great, but always good to bingo. Can't see anything with the F. And the O I've already considered. So let's see if this stays on the board. Quite a critical point. If it does, I have noumenal through the A of overawed. And I've blocked noumenal in row E. I can't see any other bingos. I'm just waiting to see if this comes off. I think it's okay though. It looks right. I've got the un prefix, but nothing else is springing to mind. No other bingos are springing to mind apart from noumenal, and that would be blocked by a play from my opponent at h1 across through the R of Derain, which is quite a hot spot. My M is my scoring tile. If I can't bingo, I'm looking to play off certainly the U and the duplicate N, and probably the M as well. I've got a 36-point lead, so this is a close game. I haven't seen anywhere great for my M. Great! My opponent has provided an A. Great. And he hasn't scored very much. He only got 18 for Orei, obviously suffering from a vowel-heavy rack. Perfect. So, noumenal, 61. Another low-scoring bingo, but it's another bingo. Horrors. Well, I guess if my opponent has 1,000,001 vowels, it's not surprising I get a lot of consonants, but look at the remaining tiles. There are only 5 tiles, so before I drew this rack, there were 17 plus 7, 24 tiles and only 5 vowels. Wow. Well, if my opponent is able to bingo now, I'm in a lot of trouble, because I can't expect this rack to get balanced. On the other hand, there are available vowels. There's the O and A of overawed, there's the O and I of foible, there's the I of Orei. So this isn't a disastrous position to be in. It was just a bit of a shock to draw such a rack, but that was before I noticed the dearth of vowels. And wow, there goes 2 more vowels. There are only 3 vowels left in the game. My opponent scores well. He's only 30 odd points behind. There's a huge scoring tile in the J left. All I can do with this in this situation is to hang on and see if I can keep scoring. Now, I've got crag. I don't think I can play off any more consonants. Only 14 points. This is the problem with this rack. Although I've got scoring tiles with no vowels, my scoring options are limited. That is such a small score, though. I'm going to put it back. I've got a little bit of time to find something better. And the risk is if I score only 14 points that my opponent can catch me without bingoing. Now, I've got an S, so why don't I play grip? And then if I draw a vowel, at least I'm setting up column 15. Better than that would be prig, because grip takes an E, prig only takes an S. I'm wondering about playing brig instead. Is the P a better tile than the B? Difficult to say. I think I'll keep this because at least I've still got the S for the front of prig as well as its back. Only 14 points. 6 tiles left. Great, I draw a vowel. Fantastic. And I've got the scoring tile in the J. That takes away the tile I was most fearing as being in my opponent's arsenal. I don't think I've got a 4-letter play using the J and the S in column 15, which would have sewn the game up, I think. Now, right now I've got jab in column 5 through the A of overawed. And I'm wondering, forgetting about the J, do I have any play in column 15? Well, quite surprisingly, I don't think I do. I can now see the tiles that my opponent's got left. They're pretty poor, but he may be able to go out in 2. He's only 21 points behind me. He's got a good score with no. No tiles left. I can't go out in 2. So I'd like to hang on to my E. Now I've just noticed that I can play jib across here. And what's nice about that is that I'm setting up vice in column 5 and vice and jive. I'm scoring 28 points, which is a good score. Jab would have been 24. So am I missing a better place for my J? I don't think so. I think this should be enough, because I will be able to score with my next move. And I don't think I'm setting up anything for my opponent with this. My opponent's got scoring tiles in the F and the H, but he's 49 points behind. So I've set up myself for vice or give. What else do I have? Darain takes an S, but I can't use that to good effect. I could have played jive rather than jib, but I preferred to retain the E. Good play by my opponent, 29 points, but I don't think it's going to be enough for him. So, what's the best I can do with this rack? I do have the vice spot I've set up. Let me see what that scores. £22 points. That would take me to 420. 44-point lead. I don't think my opponent's going to do anything fabulous with HTT. He may not even be able to go out. Well, he can. He can play that in row E. Does he have a second out? Well, that won't win. It'll only score 6 points, but I ought to consider if he can go out elsewhere. Well, supposing he can't, how can I block that? Well, I could play C died out. Oh, I don't have a D. Is there anything with a G here? No, okay, that's a shame. I could play veg and gal. £13 points. Now, I've got the C and the S. Could I be stuck with the C? I've got cads in column 5. Do I have a second out? Anything other than cads? Well, scad in the same spot, but my opponent could block that. Well, it's not an out, but I can at least play my C with tech in row G, so I'm not going to be stuck with the C. Actually, I think I'm not particularly bothered by my opponent getting 6 points and going out. I think this secures the win. So I'm going to play this. Now I'm expecting my opponent to play that in row E. He may have spotted something better. No. Okay, so pass to end the game. And the final score, 390 to my opponent, 420 to me, a winning margin of just 30 points. So very exciting game, very close finish. Let's see what I missed. Oh, axle seed, not good. Wow. Okay. I wonder if that's spelled EL rather than LE. So, what did I have here? Well, I could have played Veld. I played Veg. I don't particularly like the G, so well, I certainly prefer the D to the G, so I'm happy with Veg. This was my axle seed play, and well, there's nothing remotely like it, so obviously a fantasy word that I decided was good, and deflexes was the only bingo, so I got away with a phony there. Nice bingo by my opponent. Did I have anything? No, I didn't. Great. Always painful to miss a retain bingo. I played off just 2 A's to keep a bingo-y combination of inter. My opponent played cat. I saw Triolean. Was there anything else? There wasn't, so I'm glad to have spotted that. Now, this is where I played Symes. That looks best. My opponent plays Hoy, and this was my foible rack. Well, foible, bifold, nothing particularly great was available with this. This was my opponent's rack, and then I had Darrain, and that was the only bingo. And that's where all the vowels were, 7 of them on my opponent's rack. He played Ori, I had Numenal, which was fortunate since he provided the A, having blocked the only A that was available. Now this was my opponent's rack, and here I had 7 consonants. Yeah, nothing great available, only 1 play scoring out of the teens at D12. Actually, that's quite a nice play. But it's actually, I don't think it's as good as my play because playing big, although it hits the double letter square, doesn't give me sole access to column 15 in the way that an S hook word does, like prig. Now this is where I played jib. I could have played jives in that spot, keeping B, C, G, but the bag was empty now, so what I'm left with is what I can play with. Jib for 28, 5-point sacrifice to keep the E. I think I prefer doing that. So what was available here? E-cads at J5. Well, that's keeping the V. I played Vice for 22, 7-point sacrifice. My opponent can go out with that, but if he can see that I've got the V, well, he might be more tempted to try and stick me with it. And in any event, any of these moves are winning moves, so I'm happy with Vice. And finally, Well, that was the only outplay for my bingo. So, a good game. Goodness knows what I was thinking of with Axel Seed. It's possible that it used to be good and has been deleted. Anyway, my opponent did not challenge it. It stayed on the board, and I was able to play a couple of other bingos as well. The final score really close, just 30 points. So thanks very much to my opponent for a close game and some interesting racks there. So I hope you enjoyed watching it and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.